For my unique opening, I didn't plan anything. I just thought I would just turn up. And whatever I say is the most appropriate thing to say in the moment. But also know that what I say is not for this generation. It's for the generation to come. That's my unique opening.
Just record it and put a time lock on it, and it'll open for them. Like, why are you wasting your breath, Peter?
Yeah. The goddess sat on her buttocks.
Eating her curds in the way. Oh yeah, so what was your sigil thing? We'll start with that. That's what I wrote down. Because Tommy did the Aethyrs thing.
Yeah, so,
and it's spelled out SIGLO, sigilo.
And then there was an L and an E, and it was getting annoyed with me. So if you look it up, it's Spanish for century, or it can mean the age. Or there's a religious thing, it can also mean the world. But it's siglo, and then the L is obviously the article. The age, the world, or the century. I haven't seen you in a century. I haven't seen you in ages.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the opening of this week's.
I'm just ushering in a new Aeon here, guys. That's all. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Well, considering everything was all fake that came after it and all kind of put on, I would say that's the spirit of the century, is that it's pretense.
We're still in which one we in? We're in Crowley's one. What was it called? Horus? Morris?
Depends on who you ask. Some people think we're in the age of Matt.
But that's Frater Archer? What's his name?
I don't know. I don't think it's
Arcade. I don't know. Yeah.
Fradoch.
But didn't he distance himself from it towards the end? But then his followers were like, yeah, no, it's definitely the age of Matt. But he was like, yeah, no, it's not. I fucked up.
And then there's the age of the Typhonian age. It's not Kenneth Grant's.
Oh, he has an age as well, right? Okay.
Pretty sure. Then we have the New Age, of course, which is Aquarius. And we have, I don't know, I'm sure there's a million other ages. We have the...
Yeah. It's almost like time isn't real and you can just make up your own age whenever you want, like.
Yeah, it seems to be, yeah. Although, many opinions are available on this, and some quite fervent.
Yeah. They're all just opinions, though, aren't they? No one really knows that, and, no one knows anything about anything at all.
Well, there's that is the kind of the notion of is it like it comes down to subjective, objective truth, all of that kind of thing. But I still think objective truth could change. So I know that's not that thing. I don't mean that you changed. I mean in the kind of Terry Pratchett, I think, or is it the Hitchhiker's Guide? What's his name?
Douglas Adams?
Yeah.
Douglas.
Yeah, who says that whatever his name is. Douglas Adams. That the universe gets more complicated as we become more complicated. So the truth can actually change. So, I mean, who knows? Who knows at the end of the day? You could claim, and maybe some people do, sitting in a cave.
What was the planet where they died of snoo, or they were threatened with death by snoo? Was all Amazonia? That would have been a complicated planet.
Yeah. There's a Futurama episode about that too, isn't it? Where he goes.
Yeah, Futurama, yeah. What did I say?
No, I thought we were still talking about
it's like the only thing about objective. It's like, okay, so that's a blue chocolate wrapper.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, but only if you use our eyesight. You know what I mean? Like a dog doesn't see that.
Yeah, and the same thing is like if you like in photography or certain sunglasses, like a polarizing filter where you can see through water or you can see through glass. Yeah. And like you can see just how much you're missing. So I mean the same infrared.
Why are you taking pictures of women through the glass windows?
Because that's why everyone gets into photography. What? Is there another reason?
Why wouldn't I? Idiot.
Who buys a camera for anything else other than like really horrible lechy things like that? It's mostly for shit through water though, isn't it? The polarizing filter. But it also
polarizing thing. Yeah,
you can also it'll change the sky as well. The reason I'm doing that is because my polarizing filter.
That's how you use it on a thing. Yeah, if you live somewhere like if you're up on the mountains and you're taking shots kind of down, they're really good because it reduces the haze of the kind of clouds and the atmosphere.
Yeah, and it can glare off shiny things too. Yeah, it can also make your skin look better if you get it right, but it can also make your skin look like you've got a silver grey paint on it. So be careful with it.
Nice. We were getting on a bus one time in Dublin, and a chap got on, and his the whole bottom half of his face was silvery grey paint, And like the longer he sat there, he smelled this tremendously strong smell of paint. And he stood up to get off the bus then. And as he was walking along, you could hear the clink of the marble in the spray can. He'd been fucking getting high off. But obviously he'd hit the button when he was getting high.
Sprayed his actual face. Nice. Thinking no one knew. Get away with that.
Like it's hard enough to go home to like your parents or your wife when you're high and to hide it, you know. But like this fella's coming in, his face is, where were you, Jimmy? I was at the zoo today.
Yeah, studying down the library. Yeah.
Did you fall into some wet paint? No, what do you mean? No, I'm fine. Why are your eyes red? Your eyes are red. Yeah.
Come here, shall I ask you, because we haven't really talked about it much on the podcast. Just come back to how you finding the scrying. What's your kind of read on it? What you feel on it? The Scrying the Enochian Aethyrs.
Do you know what? At the beginning, it was a bit of a chore.
Okay.
Do you know, I wasn't enjoying it, just doing it because, you know, something that might or might not exist. Well, no, it doesn't exist because it's not tangible. Anyway, a ghost told us to do it. Yeah. So, yeah, all right, you just do kind of do what you're told. But I don't know, and I'm not really... I'd started out taking a lot of notes on it and stuff. Now I'm not doing it at all. But then like, after listening to Duncan Barford and Alan Chapman had their latest podcast, and they were talking about one of their scrying things and kind of what it led to, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I should be paying attention to it. But then again, it mightn't reveal something for years and years. To be honest, I don't really know how I feel about doing them. I don't know if I'm enjoying them. I don't know if I am getting at and from it, and I don't know if they're leading anywhere. I just don't know. You know? But then again, like saying that, you know, one of them made me cry about my dead granddad.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And I keep getting these things about there's some kind of ancestral thing of men of learning, which is
scribes, monks, all this kind of,
yeah. Maybe my great granddad was a horny monk. Or great granddad.
Why did he have to be horny? Like, it could not just be holy, a holy monk. No, just no snow.
But he
horny.
broke his celibacy thing, though, didn't he? But I don't think I remember looking up stuff before because I'm a weirdo about like the strength of sins, and breaking celibacy. Well, it wasn't too bad of a one until, like, you know, last kind of couple of 100 years. But the ones that were awful was like, you know, cheating on your wife, buggery was one. But you just got 2 or 3 Hail Marys, and that was it. Like, you were grand. Right. You were sorry. Bestiality was a popular one among the Irish farmers. Go into the monks, say their confessions. Yeah, I had me way at the sheep. All right, sure, you sorry? Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, right, go off there, say a couple of Hail Marys, Our Fathers, you'd be grand. That was it.
Point at the sheep that seemed most into it. No reason.
No, but I mean, that's why I was looking up. I was looking up because, you know, the American evangelicals and hardcore Christians are, you know, they have this, you know, relations between men and women of the same sex are an abomination. And I was kind of curious. I was like, well, how much of a sin actually is it, you know? And, you know, according to medieval Irish Christians,
not really.
You know, you got a worse penalty for gossiping about your neighbours than you did for having sex with your neighbour's husband.
All right.
You know, so, yeah. But then again, they were monks, so they were like, yeah, we can't really punish him too much for this because, like, we're all at it.
Yeah, we're all at much worse than him, so, yeah, we get that. Yeah.
Yeah. How do we get there? The Aethyrs. Yeah, I suppose I'm leaning more towards the side now that I am enjoying them a bit more because they're seems to be getting a bit more out of them. At first, it seems really random. You know, you're just getting... It's like when you sit down to do meditate or Vipassana or something first, you're just getting bombarded by these fucking stupid things. Leave me alone. Whereas now it seems to be a bit more... I think yours are the same as well. Seems to be they're focused on telling you something in each one, and it's up to you to try and figure it out, you know? Yeah,
the last 2 for me certainly felt different than all the other ones. Just was sort of more of a... I was going to say, like, a narrative, particularly last week, which the ending and the beginning echoed each other, and I didn't realize until it happened. So it wasn't that it was, like, because you're kind of going, am I doing this? And I mean, obviously in a way you are, like, but when it starts doing stuff that you hadn't planned or you hadn't, it's then where you realize, like, oh, that's the beginning and the end, echoing each other. You kind of go, all right, that's interesting, because I didn't know that. If you had a kind of, it'd be interesting if I did this, but it's realizing after the event, you kind of go, oh, that seems to be something outside. Yeah. And the people
My thing with it is that, like, I'm not sure, like, where's the line between, say, where active imagination ends and there's something else in there. It's not just you and your subconscious or unconscious playing with you, kind of thing, Yeah. But I mean, you want one of them to come up and tell you something anyway. But I'm still, I'm not quite sure that I trust the process of it in knowing where is the line of, like, okay, this is just one's imagination, or it's like, no, that's an archetype that is making itself known and that's telling you something. Yeah, or is it a complex, which is the thing that or a role or whatever you want to call them, got me for years, was like the whole notion of the, like, I don't like it, but it's what it's called, the inner critic. And so when I was looking, like, to try and reflect something in my mind or ask my higher self or whatever, my shadow self would answer and goes, you're a dick, or whatever, or everyone hates you, what are you on about, you're useless. And you kind of then you started, if you fall for it, and I did, you started equating then with feeling that divinity doesn't like you, or the archetype or whatever. So it's the same thing, that if you go in and you do some active imagination, or you do scrying or whatever it is you're doing, and you have a horrible experience, and you kind of go, well, is that something I have to learn, or is that my part of me that hates me trying to hurt me? And it's hard to know. Like, the last two scrying ones seems different. That's all I can say. Even though there is definitely stuff that I've seen in the last two that were in previous ones, but it's kind of maybe saying, no, this was the bit that's real in them ones, because there was that whole sense, of doing them, that it goes, it's like as if this is what's been presented as, is this what you're looking for? Is this is a good kind of impression of what someone doing the Aethyrs would look for? It's like, and it was like kind of, that got very obvious, that it was like, yeah, sure, like, just going, it's hard to explain. It's like, the way I was explaining it to you, I was trying to go, it's like someone giving you a tour of your own house, and half of you're going, why are we doing this? It's your house. Like, and then going, all right, and this is a fridge, and the back of my mind goes, he knows it's a fridge, it's his fucking fridge. And that's not to say that I'm saying that, this is all my stuff. It's just like the kind of redundancy of it. It's, is more. But I didn't feel that the last two times. But again, I mean, you get that thing, like, so El Siglo, and all right, cool, that's a word I didn't know. I was the confusion I was getting with it, because I was going, is he trying to say sigil? And your man, that's what I thought was sigil. Yeah, and he's giving you a sigil. Yeah, he's going to stop. He's getting annoyed at me, and then but so that's a word I didn't know. So, but like, what I find with these things, you kind of go, they don't go anywhere, or they don't do anything. Duncan Barford says that all the stuff that he did and control of those kind of things, that they all made sense eventually. So in a sense, not worry too much about it. It's like that whole thing of trying to predict the future with prophecy. Prophecy informs you when it happens, not previous to it. So you can go, oh, this is what this is about. So I have some information, rather than I can predict that something. So the two lads pretty much say that word for word. Oh, in what's it called? Warp FM. Yeah. I haven't listened to that podcast. Two episodes yet. I haven't even listened to Duncan's last two. I just fallen off the podcast ship at the minute. Yeah, his Ancestors one was really good. So it is. I'll get round to it at some point. Honest to God, man, I think he fucking just sits in my brain and takes ideas for fucking podcasts or something. Because like it was around the time that I had the Aether with the granddad stuff. Next thing his podcast was Ancestors. I'm like, stop doing it, Duncan. Get out of my head. I'm a dirty pervert. You don't want to see what's going on in there. Yeah, you don't want to be in there. When he was last zooming you that he put some sort of spyware on your computer, so he knows all your search history, all your Pornhubs. Oh God! All that. Oh God! Oh wow! Oh, it's funny. Duncan stopped talking to you recently. Have you know? Don't know.
Yeah. Just the update as well, and the scary thing that came into my room. It hasn't happened since, even remotely. So, whatever. Whatever that was, it just went straight away after. Then when the Aethyrs changed, the last two. Yeah, so.
Because I remember we did the podcast about it, and then I think you said it lasted for another day or two, wasn't it?
And then it was gone completely. But it was like way less. That it was just kind of, it happened, and I was like, too tired to deal with it. Go away. There was no. It was there, but it wasn't. I could just go shut up. Go back to sleep. Rather than the previous where it was I can't. I have to deal with it. But,
why have you got 458 written on your guitar?
That's my number.
All right.
It's the 3-digit number that most magicians seem to have. You've won 2, haven't you? 3-digit number?
No, I'm not 3-digit. I see 916 and 1916 everywhere.
Right.
It's just ridiculous. Like, how can there be 916 of that thing? How? Why? Stop doing this to me, will you? Fucking numbers.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It seems to be, well, not everyone, but an awful lot of people have this 3-digit number. Don't know. It's that thing I see it in all the time, constantly, all the time, and everything. I did an experiment once when I was walking home from college, and it's just to go, am I actually seeing this, or am I, only noticing what I want? Am I only noticing the red cars or whatever? And so I just, for a week, took 3 numbers, 458, 1, 2, 3, and another thing that wasn't in sequence, and seeing how many. Without looking at every number plate, how many, and 458 was like hugely more, like to the point, like a couple of days in, it goes, there's no point in even finishing this.
Don't need your science. I already know the answer. Yeah. It's fine.
But it's definitely in significant things as well. It appears, but it's like sometimes it appears and you kind of go, and what? What's your problem? What's this point?
Okay, what you doing? All right, hello you. You're back again. 3rd time today. Still not seeing it. Well, okay, we'll just carry on. We're idiots. We're going to find out when we're dead what it was. We're like, no, God damn it.
It's our serial number for being trapped in Gnostic hell, and then. All right. Yeah.
I was going to put it more positive. I was like, well, no, if you can. Come up with 6 numbers out of that number. They're the winning lotto numbers for whenever you do it.
I used to do them as well. Lottery numbers, never won. So because then you can go right. There's 6 lottery numbers, so then you have to add 3, and you're going like, you can't do 458, 458.
Yeah, you do 4 plus 5 plus 8, and then you take those 2. People know how to do it.
Yeah, we see if you add all 458 together, it gets 8, isn't it? So 4 and 5 is 9, 9. And 8 is 17, 1 and 8, so you're still getting back to 8.
Still 8. You put the 1 and the 7 in there. They'd be your bonus numbers.
But it's interesting because it started the first one. My lucky number is 8. It's a song. My lucky number is 8. And then it's interesting then that the octahedron thing came up with the stuff that we did with Duncan, which is essentially 8 as well. So there's a definite trend. Remember when the first holiday I ever went on was Tremor. As I think a lot of people in Ireland of my generation, Tremor. Not you, because you're like down the road for you.
Yeah, I'm 45 minutes away,
Yeah. And whatever, there was, I had my lucky number. I don't know why. Just, you have a lucky number. And then there was a thing of, let's put money on a horse. And I'm like, I would have put it at number 8. And didn't think anything of it. But an hour later, whatever, we were out at the fairground or whatever. My dad comes running around and goes, oh, he won. We better give him a $5. Thing, but see me, it won a lot of money. But I mean, I was. That's why it was, because I was 8 at the time, and so I was delighted with my $5. But I think there was a good day in the pub that day.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I got some crap plastic Superman at the fun fair.
Was that around the time Celt World was down there? I remember Celt World was in Tremor. That was pretty cool.
So from 8, then it was 1985.
I know. Yeah. No, you would have been. You probably would have been older when that came along. That was cool though. This weird. God, what was it like? How to explain it to people? Have you ever been to a wax museum? They had all these Celtic things, but then they had this live action stuff as well.
All right.
And they had videos and stuff. Yeah, it was actually pretty cool, and there was lots of stuff about the Cullen and Phil McCool and all those jazzy cool lads, Yeah, it was. I don't remember why it closed down. It was pretty cool.
It's more still the the seaside, like the Irish Blackpool equivalent? Like, is it still, or is it?
I don't know. I know there's a lot of apartments and stuff down there now. We worked on
sure.
some of them years and years ago. Yeah, so there's a lot of people want to live beside the seaside, don't they?
Yeah, Baddistown is the one in the area around here that it's not quite as, but it'd be, you still get people to it. It's nice, but I mean, I don't know. Imagine living there though. Like, I mean, it must be, as a local, it must be quite annoying. The price of everything. Why is milk €4? What? Like, what is that? Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not far off. And I mean, I think bread went up here about €1 as well.
oh look, don't talk to me. Inflation here. They officially they say it's like 4 or 5%, but it's like 12 actually. It's crazy. Our mortgage is double what it was not too long ago, which is yikes.
That's fun, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. What's the thing? Are you 6 weeks? Are you 3 months away from being a millionaire or 3 months away from being homeless? And I'm definitely in the second bracket at the moment.
Yeah, that thing came out says that most, some ridiculous amount statistically or percentage of people in America are living paycheck to paycheck, including millionaires. How's that work?
How? Stop. Like, bring down your expenses, man. What the hell? Washed up actors that were big in the 70s. You don't still need to live in Hollywood. Go.
Yeah. Stop with your mega pints of wine.
Alabama.
What was it,
Kentucky,
Johnny?
somewhere interesting.
Johnny Depp was spending 40 grand a month in wine. No, that's a good life, isn't it? That's
Yeah. Oh, you'd give it a go, like, do it for a couple of years anyway. Have fun doing it. But yeah, no, it's debauchery.
yeah. It's only when you
That's
can.
strange. How's your practice? That's the question we get, isn't it?
Practice.
How's the practice?
Practice going better than it was. The meditation has changed.
'Cause you're in this for 15 years now, and there's 14 to go. 14 and a half to go.
14 and a half, yeah. the current module I'm on, we're set.
That's a commitment. Imagine like your wife came to you and is like, "Do you think we'll be married for another 14 years?" You'd be like, "Ooh, Jesus." There's a question.
I could be dead. I could be dead in 5. Who knows?
Crossing your fingers.
Yeah, well, BOTA was 15 years and I only lasted about a year and a half in that, so who knows? Yeah, so the new set, it's the magic. It's all about magic. It's essentially about knowledge conversation with the Holy Guardian Angel. That's essentially what this is, although that's not the name they call it. There's all solar angel-y stuff. But yeah, they changed the meditation. It's more suiting to me than the other one was. There's still kind of stop-starty, different sections, but there's less of them. And
Right.
Yeah, it's more to kind of align yourself with the... There's a nice thing in it. We're saying that you're meditating on the solar angel, as they call it, but you have to bear in mind that they're meditating on you too, which is kind of nice,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's not every day.
I had a similar thing with the beloved practice from the Magia thing, and it was like he says in one of the recording after he gives the practice, he talks about he's getting questions from caterpillars or the butterflies, I don't know what they were called.
Bee.
The people, yeah. And a giant hornet.
Yeah, this bee comes up
Suddenly
and
landed.
asks, what's the meaning of life? Hold on, you're a bee.
And yeah, someone says that I felt such and such during the meditation, and he's like, yeah, you can give that to the beloved as well. Okay, and what if it's something like if it's like anxiety? He's like, yeah, give that as well. And that's something I found hard to do, because I'm like, yeah, no, she is enough to be doing, like, without me putting my problems on her. To the answer to that was like, yeah, well, you're the same thing, so you're just handing your problems to yourself. So you're fine, like.
A really
Don't worry about it.
nice kind of thing of that in A Course in Miracles and the daily lessons, and it's just the mind that you think of as the mind that you think what is the same that is the mind of God. So it's God that's thinking it through you, in a sense, and not and so it's like your concern is his concern, or without genderizing it, like whatever, like it's the same concern.
Dude, God's a man. Come on, shut up.
Yeah, if anything, I know anything, he definitely isn't. Of all things,
Is God circumcised?
well, Jesus would have to have been, wouldn't he? So unless
Yeah.
he was the first.
No, but
Well, maybe
Jesus
it was
was.
Paul. Paul was saying you don't have to get no.
Yeah, Paul was saying you don't have to.
Yeah.
But Jesus said, "Oh, of course Jesus was." Yeah.
Jesus
Sure,
definitely.
isn't his foreskin all over the planet in little vials and churches and stuff?
Huge foreskin all over the planet. Yeah.
Some bishop in Italy uses it as a pillow.
Someone is definitely.
Sorry, I
eaten-
went too far there.
No,
We were on a roll there.
I'm about to go too far. Someone has definitely eaten a piece of Jesus' scrotum, circumcision skin. It's happened. It's happened. We just have to deal with it. We just have to move on. It's just one of those things that someone 1492 or whatever, Jesus' skin arrived from the ocean blue.
Someone lost the bet. Someone lost the bet. You have to do it now, man. You have to,
Body of Christ.
Men are
Oh
idiots.
man, that's how it started. I went, oh man, turn into amen. Yeah. So.
What are we talking about?
Oh, meditation practice. That thing that makes us holy, keeps us connected with the divine, and how quickly we turn that. And degrade that.
How God isn't the man. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably not.
Yeah, but there's this kind of thing, I suppose, that in that is, it's the thing that we've mentioned before, where you get the shit version first. It's like you're handing up your thing or whatever. It's like, you deal with it. And, because I'm not going to, it's wanting someone else, it's letting go of responsibility, which I don't think that's what that is surrounding to your thing. It's realizing that it's, that's the thing that's happening, and that you can either fix it or you can't. And if you can't, then you have to just go, right, then I can't.
Yeah.
That's it. There's an interesting kind of visionary thing that came to me, and it was about the relationship of, like, say, like the secret chiefs or divine or your HGA towards you, and why they don't really answer, why did John Dee's angels not give him any money? And it's kind of this thing of, it was like a person playing Monopoly, and it was like someone was in jail or something bad was happening. They landed on somewhere with 16 hotels and whatever it is. And it's kind of asking, your divinity to go, well, can you help me with this huge bill for 16 hotels, whatever it is? It's going to bankrupt me. And it's like going, no, because my thing is I want you to see that game isn't real. So I'm not going to help you to become more embroiled in that game. It's not, understanding that it's still hard or whatever, but it's to deal with and all that kind of thing. But it's like from their point of view, going like, no, that's like literally the opposite of what I want. I want you to awaken from all of this kind of stuff. So, send some money every now and again.
It's like how South American footballers don't stop praying, even though they've lost the match. Or no, sorry, not that they've lost the match, but they bless themselves as they're coming onto a field, or they bless themselves after they score a goal. But like, what about the other team? Like, does God not love them?
Well, that's it, isn't it?
And then, like, eventually you're going to lose the football match because you have to. You always do. And then it's like, has God deserted me? Me, Neymar? I'm Neymar. I'm like the best Brazilian of all time. God, my God, why have you forsaken me? We have lost 1-0 to Nantes. Who the fuck is Nantes? No one even knows where Nantes is. It's spelt with an S and no one says it. Why am I playing football in France? I bet he wakes up every morning. He's like, why am I in France? God, I mean, that's, as great and all as France is, I love France, but French football is just awful.
That's French national team not good, or they're not top
The French
tier?
national team are really, really good, but like the vast majority of them do not play in France.
Oh yeah, don't play in England.
French. That's your French league is just PSG and others. That's it. They're muck. It's just crap. This is one horse race kind of thing. It's a terrible league, but they have some of the best players in the world because they're owned by a country. End of football rant. Okay, Tommy's going glassy-eyed here.
No, I enjoy a good rant, even if well, at least with football, I have somewhat of an understanding. Like, I know what the rules are, I know what countries are, I've seen people, so there's a lot of things in that I can understand.
Well, there's a lot of mad stuff going on at the minute in sports washing. You presume you know what sports washing is, yeah?
No.
Sports washing. Okay, let me tell you about this then. So sports washing is. Best example I can give now is Newcastle United are a football team in England, and they were just bought by basically Saudi Arabia.
All right.
And so they're going to use this to kind of clean their image Like they're going to buy up like fucking half Newcastle City and have training facilities, hotels, blah 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 blah, and they're going to make Saudi. And like no one cares that like they're beheading, you know, little gay boys for no reason other than they're gay. But like, oh, they have Newcastle United who just won Champions League. Oh, you know, it's the same. Man City aren't as bad because they're owned by not Dubai, one of the other Emirates who aren't one of the baddies.
Right.
But PSG is owned by some of the baddies, or maybe it's the same. No, it's not the same. And it's kind of like, but like there's a lot of it goes on in boxing. Like there's that Irish criminal gang headed by Daniel Kinahan. I'm not libeling him. This is known. Don't kill me, Daniel. Okay. Don't find me and kill me.
Daniel's not listening to this. That's fine.
No, I would hope not. Anyway, unless he's doing some black magic to get all his fucking money back, but he wouldn't be listening to us anyway. He was the head of this like boxing organization and proper fights like Tyson Fury, Joshua. What's his name? Joshua King, is that his name? Anyway, they're two of the best heavyweight fighters in the world at the minute. And he had the fights between them. Like, he's running this as like the WWE or UEFA for all this. And he's the boss.
Right. Like
absolute sports watching. And he has like has one of the biggest cocaine empires in Europe.
So
he's running this as a legit thing, like.
Is it sport washing as in whitewashing? Is that the phrase?
Exactly that. Yeah.
Okay.
Whitewashing, but in sports. It's rife at the minute. And everyone is kind of like, they're killing our fucking sport. And there's nothing we can do.
But are people actually changing their mind about Saudi Arabia over it, though? Are it really? No, I mean, I can't imagine they are, like. Because
the Newcastle United fans are, you know.
So one team at a time.
Yeah, we'll see a lot of it at the Qatar World Cup, because the World Cup's been held in Qatar this year during the winter, for fuck's sake. And it was Russia and Qatar. Russia had the last World Cup. Qatar has this one. Both of them were bought from FIFA.
Right.
Anyone that was involved in the process, I read something, I think there were 16 involved in it. 14 of them are in jail now because of the bribes, but it's still going ahead.
Of course.
And but a lot of people are saying they're not going to watch the World Cup, and like, I can't say I won't watch it because I love football, so I will watch it. But I know that the way the Qataris bought it, and also like the amount of workers that died building the stadiums is accepted now, is sick. Do you know, loads of lads died, and they have this weird slavery system. You get chaps from Bangladesh and they come over and they're like just labourers, and they're like, yeah, we'll give you a job. Oh shit, my granny died, I need to go home. Like, no, I own you for like at least 18 months, so you're going nowhere, and you're sleeping in that hovel with like 18 men in a room. It's hard to say, but yeah, I feel bad about watching it, but I don't know, like, I know I shouldn't watch it, but like I have to watch it. I work in football, kind of.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think a lot of people actually won't watch it, and I hope they stick to it, because, you know, you need to hurt them in their pockets. I'm going to go on my principles, and I'm definitely not watching it. Any of them. Yeah. No way. No. Too far. Just too much. Ireland aren't in it anyway. So I think only Wales and England are in it, and like, yeah. And you only watch them to get beaten, you know. Yeah, that's it. Irish lessons. I have some fun ones this week. Did you know that there is a Irish equivalent for Karen? Yeah, it's Brigade. It's kind of like Bridget, but it's not. And it's a touchy, irritable person who's easily offended. That's awesome. So that's there's a few I'll go through. Some of these I don't know, and then I have some other Irish curses that I thought would be fun. So, how to insult someone Oscailga. Smudgeen. Do you ever hear that one? It's a snot-nosed brat or impertinent fellow. Scratacan or scratanock is a big, lazy, slow person. Nice word. So, clear concha. Have heard this one. Is like an evil-tongued person is described there, but it's like someone. It's let me see. B asterisk ITCH is more, probably a better, but like, so clear concha. Although it can be a dude as well, so, you know. I'm going back to using dude as a masculine term after our discussion last time. Would you have sex with a dude?
And then I was thinking after, Spud would. So,
But I'm married.
Bogon is a slithery, spineless individual. A bogon. I haven't come across most of these. I'll flick through them and see if there's any. Saskarakt sounds a bit like an English person.
Sasnak.
Yeah, a stuffed sack or person with very little get up and go.
Well,
So,
I mean, similar enough.
Trumpador. I don't know. A tiresome loudmouth. Is that real? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay, so you will know some of these. These are actual. They're not actually Oscailga. They're just words that we use over here and to insult people. A gombeen.
Gombeen. Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah. Then we have a gobdaw. That's not
Gobdaw, yeah, that's used in Wexford. Yeah, okay. Know that one, yeah.
Bollocks, obviously, yeah. That's feco. That's well used. Well known. A dope. I really like a dope.
Dope.
Yeah, it's just like you dope. Yeah. It's always said with a tinge of annoyance.
Yeah. Because you've just done something especially idiotic.
Yeah.
No, you're not an idiot or an idiot. You're a dope.
You're a dope.
Or even worse.
Yeah, you do know better. An idiot doesn't know better. A gobshite. Now that gobshite is like someone who's definitely done something idiotic. But there's a
yeah, it's usually on purpose, though, isn't it?
Yeah, you're just.
I would say someone's a gobshite if they did something, kind of mean, but no one.
No, yeah, but there's a bit of maliciousness in it, like gobshite. Yeah. So it's a vindictive dope. A girl. I know it, but I wouldn't be something I've ever used.
Girl's a Limerick word, isn't it?
A girl is someone who eggs a gaff. That means throwing eggs at a house for people. I don't know. Trips over a hedgehog after legging it in the wrong direction. Drops his phone down a manhole and literally drives into a car. So like a accident-prone type person. Like a girl.
Gobshite, a fool, yeah.
It's written on every page of the Book of Kells.
Yeah, sure it is.
Yeah, Aegis, or Egot.
Egot.
They call it Egot. Yeah, a whore. That's not to be. There's no W or an E in this. It's HOOR, and you can have a cute whore.
Yeah, cute whore. Yeah,
cute whore. It's mostly preceded by cute. And it's
cute whores.
I'll tell you who it is. It's Only Fools and Horses. What's his name? The main guy.
Delboy.
Elboy. That's what, like he's a cute whore. He's trained to always get
Delboy. Yeah. That's exactly what a cute whore is. Someone who's a little bit smarter than your average idiot, and he gets away with stuff.
Yeah,
that's definitely cute.
Rob you blind, given half a chance. Yeah, sell his mother and his granny for all that stuff. Tick. Tick's a good one. Tick means you're again. We've a lot of words for you're being stupid.
Stupid. Yeah.
Tick. A hussy. I'll let you describe what a hussy is.
I thought that was American. Is that Irish?
Well, it says here according to loveanddublin.com.
All right, a hussy.
Yeah. Or a brazen hussy. Brazen hussy. Yeah, it is not probably a Dublin type.
Hussy. Well, I've heard it. It's mostly in two kind of contexts. It's either like a slut or a kind of uppity, bitchy woman.
Yeah, it's not really, I suppose the way I heard it about it's like using femininity to get their way. It's more of a hussy necessarily.
Women don't do that.
Rather than say sleep around.
I don't know any woman who's ever done that.
Yeah.
Never. That's
yeah.
No, I'm offended.
I think a hussy is more what women call other women. It's not really what a man calls someone.
Right,
yeah. That's my kind of. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever said the word hussy.
Yeah, no, I don't. I wouldn't. And I think all of these kind of things can have different meanings in different counties as well. Like completely. No, that's not what hussy means in Cork. I don't know. Pup. Yeah, that's what you call your kid.
Yeah, you pup. Yeah,
you're being a pup. A scush. That's how I use that a lot. Same thing. It's just like you're being a scush. It's more of like a harmless thing to say to a kid when he's been.
Yeah.
Yeah, a wagon. She's a wagon. Now.
Yeah.
Remember,
I've heard that a lot.
About the old woman who says the prayers at mass with the priest and says them loud, or just ahead. There's a wagonness to that. Yeah. Although wagon would also fall into, I suppose, Karen element.
Yeah,
to it.
yeah,
They
definitely.
think that,
There's Karen. There's a Karen in the wagon. Yeah.
Dry shite.
Dry shite. Yeah, God, I haven't heard that one in ages. That's a great one. Yeah.
Someone who just won't do anything for fun.
Someone who's
at all.
boring.
Boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boring.
Absolute dry shite. That fella.
Yeah.
Do nothing.
No
Go
crack.
nowhere. Yeah.
Doesn't drink. Just goes to the library all the time.
Yeah. And my favourite one, and it's not. This isn't just Irish, although I've heard it in American films, but it could be from Irish people going over there. But Tool. He's a tool.
He's a tool. Yeah.
A right tool.
He's a spanner, that chap.
Spanner, yeah. So it's a girl mixed with a gobshite, it says here, or a dope mixed with a gobshite. But the tool, gobshite you would kind of reserve for someone who's doing something, but you're still, you're friends with them possibly, and so your friend is being a gobshite. A tool is someone you don't really want to know.
Yeah, tool's a stranger.
Tool. Yeah. It's funny how we know all this. It's like I've never sat down and worked out. But yeah, what's the difference between a gobshite and a tool? Well, I know the gobshite, don't I?
Brilliant.
Yeah. And a fun fact about Ireland. This one I had to say to a few Americans because they didn't get it when on holidays and stuff like that. Some of them completely do. I assume it is a thing that's known around the world. But the whole idea of a round in a pub, I didn't know that was a typically Irish thing.
Oh yeah, that's only Ireland and the UK that does that. Yeah.
So the round in a pub is essentially that if you never walk into a pub in the middle of a round because you'll end up always trying to get to the end, so you'll only get done once.
Yeah.
So it just means one person buys all the drinks of the entire company, and it's a great way of judging whether someone is a good person or not. Because
skinflint,
because there is people who avoid it absolutely, and can go out nights and never buy anything, but they get they're known for it. They're
known for it. They stop getting asked out very quickly.
And there's certain rules that you have to follow, and that women are allowed to have 2 drinks, which is strange, and they can have a vodka and Coke. You have to buy them, and if if someone bought you a double, you probably should reply with the double, all of these kind of little things. But it just means that...
ask what you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But if it's later in the evening and they say they don't want anything, you still buy it anyway. That's also... you'll have one more. Yeah,
you should buy him something. Yeah, that's true, yeah. Something like a Sambuca that'll really get him over the edge, make him puke.
Yeah, something really horrid that he doesn't want. Just to punish him.
Aftershock. Aftershock's still a thing in Ireland.
Yeah, I think, that was so
popular.
What's the one with the Goldschlager, the one with the gold in it that seemingly cuts your throat?
Yeah. Fat Frogs, are they still popular? Fat Frogs, they were the maddest drinks. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
You can buy them in shops now as a mix.
Oh, as a one thing. What was it? It was Blue Wicked.
Yeah,
right. So in Ireland, they have these alco pops. I don't know if they have them in America. So you have Smirnoff Ice, which is it's like a vodka shot and a half plus lemonade, and then there was a blue one and there was a yellow one, which were different companies. You mix them all together in a pint glass. I think you got 2 pints out of it, 2 pint glasses out of these 3 bottles.
Right.
And they used to call it Fat Frog because it looked like the ice lolly from when we were kids. Fat Frog. It tastes like it too, but it's just like alcohol and like
sugar.
25 spoons of sugar.
Yeah.
So at the end of the night, everyone's just like, Cornholio!
So yeah, the round, if you want out of it, you have to say it at the beginning before anyone buys you a drink. If someone buys you a drink, you're in. You're done. That's it. So you just go, no, I'm going to stay on my own.
I'm on my own because I'm not staying long. I'm not staying long, lads. I'd stay on my own.
If you're at a wedding, you go, no, we'll stay on our own, which means that you're separated out. But it's, as soon as the first drink is bought, though, you're done. Or at least you have to buy one back. But then that could be very expensive, so you may as well just stay in at that point.
Yeah, you may as well stay in around.
You should just buy a guidebook on how to drink in Ireland. But essentially, if someone buys you a drink, buy them it back. That's it.
Yeah, buy them back. Yeah, exactly. That's the golden rule. Yeah, you're not giving that for free in Ireland. It's like birthday presents. Like, I'm only giving you this because I know you'll give me one in 6 months.
Yeah, and people will say no twice, but you have to ask the third time because that's when they're allowed to say yes. That's also the rule. No, you're grand. No, come on, you'll have one. No, I won't.
Are you sure?
Oh, great, I will. Right, okay, yeah.
Sure, I missed the bus anyway, so all right, I'm here for the night now.
That's the rule. That is the rule. You turn it down twice, you say yes in the third time. These are the rules. I didn't write them. I just
Rounds are grand when it's only like 3 or 4 people. That's okay. But when it gets like up to 10, it's like, oh, Jesus.
It is if
be here
there's
all night. Like,
yeah, if there's 3 or 4 people and they're all drinking pints, everyone's happy.
yeah, that's grand.
Yeah, but it's when there's like couples involved, and you know, it's like the weird thing of like, so the couple, and then only one person in the couple buys a drink. So they have did they buy it twice? Some do, some don't.
Yeah,
It's just you're as well staying your own when there's a lot of couples. You know,
yeah. Just don't go out with couples as well, because they argue and talk about their kids and God Almighty. Not worse being in a pub with your mates and they're starting on about their young lads and they're just like, I don't give a shit about your young lads.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, like, no, I really like you. You're my friend. I really like you. Don't care.
Yeah, I don't care about the stuff that I also have happened to me with my kid. That's exactly the same.
We came up with that agreement between my group of mates. Every now and again, every couple of months, we go off together, and we just don't really talk about our kids. Very rarely. It's heaven. It's lovely. You can actually forget about them.
Yeah. that is the thing that between, I suppose, men and women as well. They'll go like, well, what do you guys talk about? 'Cause nothing. We didn't talk about anything.
Yeah, nothing. But the men talk about shite.
Nothing.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
You know?
We hang out to not talk.
Yeah. Sitting in these long, very comfortable silences.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And then every now and again, someone go, did you see that thing in Netflix?
Did you see it? Yeah. Your man's a gobshite, isn't he? Fucking hell, Paddy. Wait till I tell you. I know all about him. I know a chap who worked with him. And then, that's the next 15 minutes.
Yeah. Then a Joe round. And then you got, Right. We have 15 minutes to talk about awakening, Spud.
That's more than enough.
I'd say
that's
so.
Plenty.
Yeah. So, and our pillars of magic, I suppose awakening is I'll tell you, the awakening enlightenment thing, when I first got into the occult, magic, spirituality, all that wasn't a thing at all. Just wasn't mentioned. And now it's quite prevalent. And I think it's probably just because that's the way I went. But there's areas, like, it's not in chaos magic at all. It's just not there.
Yeah.
It's, I doubt it's in goetic work. There's no, or let me see what other things is.
What is goetic work? What's that's sorcery?
Well,
what
it's
that is?
Demonology, I suppose.
What is sorcery?
You see, there's all of these things. Sorcery is the word, as far as I can recall, sorcery is someone who does magic for their own self-gain. But that's not the way it's used anymore. There's a kind of an old version. Sorcery is like...
So it's doing stuff to manifest things?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Using... There would be an element of sorcery which would be... there would be materia involved. It would be like the lucky paw and, or using the newt's eye. It's a bit of witchcraft.
Aye.
So like sorcery, I suppose, would come under a bit like hoodoo as well, kind of thing. But it's all muddled. And ask Jason Miller what sorcery is, and then ask Crow on Discord what sorcery is, and I guarantee it's a different answer.
Different answers, okay.
Yeah. But it was originally sorcery was seen as a bad thing. It's a thing that black magicians did, or dodgy people did. But I don't know how true that would be considered anymore. So yeah, but like all the different things, like an awful lot of the magic stuff, of course, is about sorting your life out from a material point of view, a relational point of view, and all that kind of stuff. That's classically seen as low magic, although at all it's not. No one likes that. Just no one like that. That, as the meme goes. And then high magic is the more ceremonial, real magic. That
TRG,
people
awakenings, and
the better people are involved in that rather than that low kind of peasant magic. The peasants are starving. That's why they have that magic. Yeah. Don't worry about that. Yeah. Eat cake or something. Yeah. So yeah, was I going to? It was never anything. The very kind of first thing I came across would have been like the idea of Satori and Zen. So I was reading a lot of Brad Warner. He would go on about it, but he would go on about it in a sense of like, don't worry about it. It's not the thing. You don't chase it. You don't look for it. It's a thing that happens or it doesn't happen, and it's kind of irrelevant. It doesn't really do anything. It can be sudden. It can be thousands of lives. It can be anything. So it's not, it wasn't like a goal, particularly in Zen, which is just to sit down, shut up. That's it. That's what you're doing. Yeah. And the equivalent of enlightenment is the practice. It's exactly the same thing as that. I suppose there was the idea of awakening in the Buddhist stuff as well, which was more liberation though, wasn't it? It's like moksha rather than awakening per se. That it's like that you escape samsara, you know, that it's that you get out of the cycle. Hare Krishnas have that as well. You get out of the cycle of birth and life, and as Hindus to a certain extent, that's the goal, rather than a kind of within this life realization, which is what more when we talk about awakening, I suppose, is what that implies, rather than, you know, like the Gnostic thing of getting off the ride or whatever on or, you know, the simulation stuff is kind of similar, but there's an implication in simulation sometimes that your body is somewhere else, your real life is over there, and you're being fooled, and you can go to your real life. Whereas, of course, in the simulation is you're the simulation too, and if you turn it off, you disappear. Mm-hmm. So, was there anything really that I was pursuant of until Baptist guys, and you know the because getting in the back door through chaos magic with them, and then it quickly bring you into the, you know, the Western magical tradition. But it's then describe. So I'll unfairly throw it to you and go, what is awakening, Spud? Exactly. That's why it's unfair, because I was in the pub there last week and someone goes, "Oh, you're into magic," and he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, what is that?" And I went, "Fuck me." How do I answer this? How do I answer this without sounding insane? One, and how do I? What is the answer to that? You know,
do you know what? If a stranger asked me something like that, I would say, "Well, do you know what Buddhism is?" And they say, "Yeah, okay." So the goal of Buddhism is to not be reincarnated again, and they say, "Okay, yeah," and so you do that by meditating until you can kind of see the truth of our existence, that everything actually isn't chaos, but it's just the way we see it. It kind of looks chaotic because we haven't figured out how everything works. And then they'll say, "Oh yeah, okay," and then it's your round, man.
Yeah, it's your round. Yeah, Guinness, yeah, please. Yeah,
I reckon that's what I'd have to go with for something like that. If someone knew me a bit better, I'd go deeper into it. All right.
Yeah, I went very quick into meditation. My answer that was kind of it. I was a bit drunk though, because God knows what I know at some point I was talking about Dawkins anyway, so I don't know where I went.
What would be my answer for that? My answer would be, what was the question again? What is awakening?
Yeah, or enlightenment, or whatever it is.
Insight. I think it's revealing the revelation of a truth that wasn't known before.
You see, I would disagree. I think it's a revelation of a truth that you've known.
Sorry that you did know, but that makes you're right.
I know why you say because you didn't know, because you don't.
You did know, but you didn't realise you know.
You know it.
That's what I should have said.
Yeah. It's like, I suppose the clue in the sense of awakening. You can't awaken to something that isn't, and you start using nomenclature and stuff that I really dislike, because it's just kind of copy pasting from other people.
Yeah, it turns into a wanky word fest.
Yeah. So it's like it's awakening to something that was already the case. Now that's very much a kind of a Magia kind of a language, and I'm not necessarily saying that Alan, that's how he would describe it, but that, you know, already the case and a prior inheritance, all these words that people
like it's all correct, but it's
it's just you know, it's like,
put it in more simple words, like, for people, so they're not kind of like new agey.
So that one I had, that was the realization of that the things that I fundamentally felt that I have been told by life was wrong was actually the truth, and to trust it. So there was an element of faith and trust in that, in that at the deepest level, everything is okay. And that's very hard for me to say, given that I don't think anything's okay. But you know, but and it's the realization of that, of something that I already knew, but had decided wasn't true. So that was from my limited fucking awakenings or experiences. And even it's like the awakening word I don't like, because it sounds like it happens once. That's it. You know what I mean? Which maybe there is a huge big one in it. You're done. But it's, for me anyway, it's certainly a process. Insight, I think, is a much better word, which it comes, you know, that's used a lot in Buddhism. You know, you get an insight into something. So I got an insight into a thing. The Satori as well is kind of, I kind of like, it's a sudden realization of something. But again, it's usually used as it happens once, you know, and then you're, he hit me with that shoe, and the entire world was just revealed to me. But again, it's all, you know, it all comes down to what way you want to look at it. Because even as we were saying about sorcery, about magic, about how it can all be defined in certain different ways. But I think there's a really great thing that Jordan Peterson said about Carl Jung recently on that Theory of Everything podcast. It's Jordan Peterson is who he is, not defending him, but he said it's just really good about. He was talking about Carl Jung. Carl Jung, once you realise that he talks about things from a number of different angles, about the same thing, that he's looking at it from like a 360-degree view of things. So you can go, he's mentioning this here, and then it seems to be saying something completely different. And then when you finally get it all in together, you kind of go, all right, I see what he's doing. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of what's happening with the awakening magic, all of this. It's looking, you know, I'm looking at the trunk of the elephant. I'm looking at the tail.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That kind of stuff. And I think certainly Theosophy does that, where it has a million names for different things, that, you know, and explains things in different ways that are but it's the same thing. It's having this view of a greater view where things aren't just one thing. It's like, even as a person, you know, like you say, so you're a journalist, you're a blogger, you sometimes you have to do WordPress, you know, so you're a developer in a sense, you know, you're a father, you're a carpenter, you're a horse wrangler or a whisperer, or whatever the correct word is for that. And if I was to talk to you and you're reading a book, and, you know, say everyone was into Spud, wanting to find out what is Spud, and I was going, well, he hangs around with horses and he talks to horses and he breaks it, and go, okay, but that guy said that he looks after 2 kids. Which is it? Yeah, well, no, it's a bigger facet of the. I don't know. It's like there has to be some truth to it too, though. Like there has to be some kind of delineation. Or one of the things that people say about awakening is that the insight you have, the difference between, say, an insight and an awakening experience is that the awakening experience will be abiding, in that it doesn't go away. Whereas the insight kind of does. And you can see that in the Baptist head guys, where they're talking about after they have their awakens, where they keep checking. Is it still there?
Yeah.
Is it still there? You know, and you can look for it and you can find it. So most of mine haven't been abiding. They've been insight, so I'd call it an insight rather than, say, enlightenment or awakening or whatever it was. How would you feel about yours? I feel yours are probably a bit more abiding, are they?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I want to get that again, I can get it. Mm. How's that going to sound to the people who don't know what I'm on about? It's like if you have a specific sense about something. I don't know. Say you eat a new Magnum ice cream for the first time, and you're like, "Oh my god!" You talk about it for a week and how awesome it was, but then it's gone because it's a limited edition. So, but you know, you can use your head and your mind to recreate that taste. That's probably the best way I can explain it. To be honest.
The other way, I suppose, is that I've said this a number of times: the confusing perspective image, where you have, I don't know, a man's head that looks like it's on a dog and you don't know what it is, and then then it clicks and you go, oh no, it's a dog and a man. I get it. I see where it's thing, and you can't be fooled by that image again. You can't see the illusion again. So certainly have that. Even in insightful stuff, you can have that. But
I think as well, another thing that we should mention what it is that it's you're peeling away your preconceptions and your biases. There's too much kind of written about ego death and all that kind of stuff, because I mean it's a cool thing to say. I'm going to kill my ego. You know what I mean? I'm going to be who I'm supposed to be. But like, you know, you wouldn't feed your kids if you did. If you had no ego, kind of thing. You know, the ego is what makes you get out of bed in the morning and makes you get into bed when you're randy and stuff. You know, and it's like, but there is something in there about your biases and all, because you're like, you know, you can have some kind of insight where, like, a way you act around, I don't know, certain people, for example. I don't know, like, let's say you have a chip on your shoulder about people in authority or something, you know, and maybe you're meditating and it just comes into your head and you might have a realization like, fuck, I act like that because, oh no, I'm not going to do that anymore. Fuck, I've been doing that all wrong. So you've had like 30 years of treating people who you think are in this position they're not really in that position. They're only in that position because you're fucking giving it to them in your own head. So you're just fucking with your own head for no reason. Because, well, not for no reason, because of something that happened way back when.
Yeah.
Could have even happened to your ancestors, maybe. It's possible.
Yeah,
but you
certainly, a lot of that will be.
But you still carry that baggage, but then it's just a light bulb goes off, and you're like, okay, I'm not doing that again. Or if I do it again, then I'll spot myself doing it.
Yeah, and so I guess then the difference between let's call that an insight for want of better thing, and an awakening is that you would, rather than have that about something personal, the awakening would be about something cosmological.
Sure, yeah.
That thing. So, but it's the same action, crap word, whatever. It's the same realization. It's the same.
Someone, I don't remember what video I was watching. Someone was talking about enlightenment, and he's like, "Look, the theory of evolution only came in the 1800s. So, but like, think about all the people who have been awakened or enlightened through history. None of them ever came up with the idea of evolution."
Yeah.
So his point was like, even if you are fully awake, you're not going to know everything.
Yeah.
But you can only know what kind of you can know quite a lot about the society or the structure or the hierarchy of the life that you're in. But like, yeah, he's saying like Buddha didn't come back with theory of evolution.
No, Jesus didn't know what a train was. Yeah, or a computer or any of that. Yeah.
Choo choo. Jesus is up in heaven now playing with his choo choo. Sad, a tear rolling down his cheek. Choo choo.
All I wanted was a train. 2,000
and
years.
some foreskin. Sorry, Jesus.
I'm not. Jesus think it's funny. When he stops crying over his train, he'll think it's funny. He'll be fine. So the first thing
See, you know what that is there? That's the behaviour of a gobshite. All right, because Tommy knows better.
Yeah, I'm being a gobshite. Yeah. So the first thing you should do is you should read 10 different maps of awakening and then confuse yourself entirely on where you are on it. Because they're all going to be different, and you can go, well, I'm 4 there, I'm 6 here, I'm not on that one at all. The first one I really came across was Daniel Ingram's, which is, that's coming from Baptist Head. There's the Mind Illuminated as I think it's a 10-stage one. The Theosophy one, or the one from the Arcane School, there's 3 initiations. They're called initiations rather than awakenings. Up into which would be the equivalent of, let me see if I can get this right. The first initiation is the knowledge conversation. This is not right. This is rough, right? But because they're not the same. So first initiation, knowledge conversation of the Holy Guardian Angel. The second at the crisis or initiation is your Holy Guardian Angel, or your solar angel as they call it, leaves, which is by all accounts the most devastating thing that'll ever happen to anyone. Absolutely awful. And then third initiation is the equivalent of, so the second initiation is the crossing the abyss thing, where you arrive at the crossing of the bitch. A bitch. Your HA is fucked off. And then when you get to the other side, which is the third initiation, is you realise in Telema and certain things that the angel didn't exist in the first place, but in Theosophy it says it did. And the third initiation is you're the Ascended Master, you're the Secret Chief, you're all of that, you have all that kind of knowledge of it. Whereas you become the Magus, isn't it? So it's not quite the equivalent. And that's the problem with all of this, because it's kind of similar, but it's not, because, say, the 2 levels aren't equivalent. That's talking about. And then there's 2 initiations after that in thing, which isn't in the AA or whatever, where you want to look at it, that to say there's no point in talking about it because you don't even understand the 3 that are ahead of you, kind of thing, but that's only the human ones. That's only while we pass through humans. And then there's solar initiations, whatever, if you want to go into all of that kind of stuff, which is fun, but doesn't help you deal with people or your life or brigades or Karens or any of these people. My
electricity bill has gone on 30%, even though they use air. They make electricity from air, and they've somehow managed to put up the bill.
Yeah. And Tesla tried to give electricity for free to everyone. Look what happened to him. They made a bad TV show about him. But yeah, I mean, like, Daniel Ingram's, the Buddhist one's different from all of that completely. And there's, the Zen one doesn't have that. It's like, don't worry about it. It's irrelevant. And then, of course, you have the Magia one, which is six stages, am I right? As I hold up 5. Suppose that tell you what I know.
This is up and down the mountain and
up and down
all
the mountain,
around.
the forest, the bee, the butterfly, all that stuff, yeah. I think that while I think it's important to kind of, kind of put yourself on the map, say, so, it's not really, either like...
Yeah, because what happens then is you're chasing goals.
Yeah, you're the scout trying to collect his badges. That's it. I've had this experience.
And it's like, and I was guilty of this for ages, thinking that there would be some great change when such and such happened along the map, say, but they don't. Like,
no.
There's not really that much. Like something fucking cool happens, yeah? And you have this amazing experience, this mystical experience, rainbows and angels, whatever. And hedgehogs came into my head for some reason. I don't know why. That's a shadow. What the fuck shadow is that?
We talked about hedgehogs earlier on, but it came to...
All right, okay. So it's not a shadow, it's just my fucking stupid brain. You have these amazing experiences and you'll want to share them with people, but you're still you.
Yeah.
You're still you. The world hasn't changed. The planet hasn't changed. The cosmology of everything hasn't changed around you. It's just that you just know a little bit more about yourself or about what the world around you, And but like everyone falls into the trap of trying to goal chasing. They do, definitely. Everyone does it. Everyone does it. And people say don't do it, but you just fall into the trap because it's a natural thing. Like
state changing, and especially if it's a non-abiding awakening, because it does go away. I think that whatever bliss experience you were having with it, and you kind of go, well, no, can I have that? And you go, well, do you want the insight? Or do you want the bliss? Oh, I'll have the bliss. Thanks very much.
I'll have that one. Yeah, where I'm fucking high. That's amazing. I didn't have to take anything.
Yeah. Well, see, it's then that again why I think that the Zen guys are right, and that it shouldn't be your target, shouldn't be a goal, is because it doesn't help you. It doesn't help you. It really doesn't. It's not going to fix your life. It's not going to change your relationships. It's not going to give you more money. It's not going to anything to do with it. Will often make it worse, as magic does. So it's like the question: so what use is it? And it's like, I don't know if there is. There's no use for it in the way that you would want to use for it, asking that question.
Yeah, well, there's no use for it in the material world. Put that way, you're not going to get a better job because you've had some awakening experiences around like that, like.
And it also doesn't mean you're not going to be an arsehole, which is obvious by the amount of awakened arseholes there is.
Yeah. If anything, it can be helpful for arseholes because they can manipulate other people.
Sure, yeah.
And then you get fucking horrible megalomaniacs like Adida, for example. Like he was definitely awake. Fucking scumbag.
Yeah. Which is the kind of thing I have with Rupert Spira, which I don't like. Any direct path people.
Speaking of scumbags,
no, he's not a scumbag, but
he's amazing.
His teaching can lead to scumbaggery, though. I think because it's the two paths: direct path, which is you don't work on yourself, you don't have to evolve, you don't do anything, because once you realize this thing, all of that falls away. Which it clearly doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. It's clearly that doesn't happen to people. And so that it's, you can have a very awake person who talking, say, Ken Wilber lines of the states and stages, who's really low evolved in other things, and that can be quite dangerous to have a really shitty person who's very awake, and I don't believe the direct path notion of that all that other stuff falls away because you see the actual world for the great.
I think you have to work on your morality as well. Like,
I think it can. I think it can, and you could go, I'm. But I can also think it can massively empower your shittiness. Yeah.
Look, the direct path can be done if you watch that. I know what's it called? Big Me, Big Thing. What's it called?
Big Mind.
Big Mind. Like if you watch that a couple of times, you see you can actually kind of see awakening as a bit of a party trick.
Yeah. Because
it's just getting people into a certain headspace, and then they realize, holy fuck, all that exists is awareness. Okay. but that's kind of what it is. Like it's a party trick to get people to that level. It's kind of a hypnotic kind of thing to get that people to that level of where they're ready to believe it, and then sucker punch, and then they have it, but it's not lasting. You know what I mean?
No.
And I think a lot of the direct stuff isn't lasting because, maybe it doesn't last because there is no moral work kind of behind it. You know, maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Look, as much as I love Rupert Spira, I think his videos, he's great. Like he's brilliant. But yeah, I'm the same as you. It's not my cup of tea.
yeah, I mean, being aware, like, you can experience that.
It's not even being aware of being aware. It's just being aware.
Being
That's
aware.
it.
Yeah.
You know, being aware of being aware of being aware. No, you're putting that's what most people do. They're putting too many knots on a piece of string. Well, you have a piece of string.
He describes it as being aware of being aware. That's why I'm saying that. That's his how he describes it.
Right.
His book. I mean, yeah. So it's like it's the awareness. I see. He kind of, in a sense, thinks that's it. That's the thing. I'm going. No, I've seen that. I've looked at that. It's not. That's not it. That's like not. And it is, but that's not. That's not where it ends. That's a thing. You know, and it's like, which is why I really like the kind of the theosophy stuff, because there's, well, it's not really, it's the arcane school stuff, that there's a more of a thing than just that. It's all of this stuff seems to me, from what I can gather, is that rather than the goal, it's right, get that and then start the work. That's when it starts. It's like,
Yeah.
the way I would equate is like you're in a band back in the day when it mattered, and your whole thing is to get signed, get the record deal. That's enlightenment. That's the awakening. That's when and then you get it, and then you go, oh shit, now I have the record. Yeah. That's the beginning of it. You know, it's not the kind of the end of it, and you realise that it.
So that that's why the direct stuff is good, because it's like, right, that's the thing. That's it there, right? That's it. Awareness. Yeah. That's it. That's all it is. Awareness, right? And then it can be like, all right, I need to work on myself because I don't like myself, or I don't like other people, or whatever the issue is. You know, everyone knows what their own issue kind of is. But yeah, that's it. So,
but the direct path would say that all drops away. That's
it doesn't though. No. Probably does if you're already a fucking amazing person. But
yeah,
of all the millions of people I know, I could name one.
Well done. Can I?
Maybe two. I'll put Tommy in there as well. Put Tommy and my wife. Do you know? Everyone else has work to do.
Well, you've come to a false conclusion about at least one of them. So my suggestion would be to not worry about enlightenment or awakening. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And go with the Zen guys. Just do your meditation. Sit down with no want or need for a present or anything.
I don't know. I don't really know enough about the Zen tradition to recommend that. The best stuff I learned about awakening would have been from Hindu stuff, from the Bhagavad Gita, and stuff about the Bhagavad Gita and Raja Yoga, things like that. That's where I would have got most of my knowledge from. Even though I think when I read Daniel Ingram's book, I think it was just too. What's the word the Americans use?
Much.
Is it greenhorn?
I don't
greenhorn
know.
Or rookie. Right. I think greenhorn is the same. I just didn't know enough about it, and I was just kind of lost. But I read it all, and and the book is too big now to ever go back to again, because like, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
That's right. I think I was just I had known enough then about it to go deeper into the Hindu stuff, because that's what I was into at the time, you know. But I agree with you. Don't go looking for it. Just meditate, and you're going to have amazing experiences anyway. So
and also don't, if you haven't an experience, like there's another trap. Oh, well, there's the chosen one trap, which we've talked ad nauseum about.
Yeah.
But the other one of thinking that you're the only person who've had this, that this is the greatest awakening that's ever happened to anyone in the world, which there's a few of them knocking around at the minute. And all of this, it's just like, while it's a wonderful thing, it certainly isn't.
Yeah. The thing is, right, is that this is available to all of us, right? So you're not special.
No.
Do you know? It's great you're having them. Deadly, delighted for you. You know, we can share in our experiences, but like, this is supposed to happen.
Yeah, it's
supposed to happen.
That's it. It's exactly this. Do the work. This is what happens. That's it. You know. But don't worry about it. Chill out. It's grand. And if you do find a way to monetize insights, and you do. Just go on and become a teacher or a cult leader or whatever it is, and teach people on YouTube. I've started getting some recommendations of people at the minute, and it's just like watching them, like, going, oh my God, no. It put you off the entire thing. It's just like, you know, I no harm, but like people like 16 and 17 talking about it. It's kind of like, well, maybe you are an ascended master, but maybe you're not. You know.
You're going to have to send me this video. Who the fuck is 17?
I'll review them. A couple of things. But yeah, as per usual, I don't think we've covered the topic extensively. I don't think we've covered it in the way that we probably wanted to. I don't think you can.
What the great thing you said once before? All projects are just abandoned in the end.
That's it. Yeah, abandoned, never completed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, so don't get too hung up about awakening, because it's gonna, if you're meditating, and if you're meditating properly, it'll happen anyway.
And don't start comparing and saying, "Oh, is he more awake than me or less awake?" All that's bullshit as well, because you can't know. You have no idea. You have no
Nonsense.
idea. And it's like, yeah. Anyway, that's it. Go to sleep. It's much more fun. Yeah, be Cypher in the Matrix. Get that steak
If
back.
anyone's made it this far into the podcast, can anyone recommend me a book on lucid dreaming? Because there's an awful lot of book about lucid dreaming, and I'd like to give it a go. But I don't know, my heart's from my elbow with these authors. Who's good, who's trustworthy, and who's absolute just wanky new age shite. Like, you know?
that's the problem with all of these things. So yeah, someone just put a list of wanky new age shite and actual books, but yeah, 5 people do it, and there's 5 different lists. So. Right, 1 hour 15, 16. We're getting better slightly.
Not too bad. All right. See you in a fortnight, so.